The following podcast may be explicit. Shedcast presents Adventures from the Shed, a tabletop RPG podcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com. Join us at our gaming table as our heroes put their new plan into action. Let's listen in as Demaya, Strongdawn, Shadrock, and Fritzy decide how to handle the situation with King Glorin. Enjoy the podcast. Hi, and welcome to The Shed for Adventures from the Shed. We're going to continue our Dungeon World campaign, The Perils of Parandisi. And if you want to hear us, of course, you can find us online at iTunes and Facebook and Twitter and Stitcher Radio. And I think I missed last time, adventuresfromtheshed.com. I know that's in the intro and the exit.
Leave us some comments.
It's out there.
Leave
leave us some comments.
Definitely
on iTunes. Yeah, leave us anything.
Ask us for nudies.
Ask us for nudies.
Well,
we're going to go around the table and say hi, and we're going to start with Mickie.
Hi, everyone. It's Mickie. I am playing the thief of the group, Demaya. Fancy Demaya.
Fancy. JJ here, playing Strongdawn and Barbarian. I'm hoping someday we're going to have a live stream.
All right.
Hey, this is Kurt. I am playing Shadrock the Druid.
And Mike playing Snickle Fritz Bombus, Fritzy the Wizard.
And after Mike, it comes back around to me. I am Joe. I am the game master for this Dungeon World campaign that we are playing. And just as kind of a little bit of a recap of this Dungeon World campaign, because I don't think we've mentioned it that much, we have a map for our world that Mike drew for us. It's a great map. You can find it online at our website, adventuresfromtheshed.com. And we are currently on a continent on the west side of that map in a city called Kingsbury, which is pretty much the capital of the world, biggest city there is. And that's where we're picking up this session. And Kurt's going to give us a quick recap of our last session together. Go ahead, Kurt.
Last session was exciting. It began with Fritzy and Shadrock putting on fine clothes and heading to their scheduled meeting with the king. Fritzy tried to charm the king's person to make sure that he would stay as enamored with him as he was. The charm failed miserably, and unfortunately, both the king and his main right-hand man and advisor, Simon, realized that Fritzy was up to something, although they did not let us know at that time. Fritzy and Shadrock talked with the king about suspicions that Belinda was working with the Red Hand, or the Red Hands as they called them, perhaps to bring down to bring about his downfall. After asking Jean, the third person in the room, to leave, the king quickly and forcefully requested that Fritzy and Shadrock kill Belinda. He made it clear that it was the king's wish, but that it would not be officially sanctioned. Meanwhile, Demaya and Strongdawn found evidence that the Red Hand have evidence that the king is having people killed, and they want us to help procure evidence against him. Everyone went back to the Frazzled Mermaid to share stories and to try to decide what to do when Shadrock realized that they had been followed, transformed into a mouse, realized that Simon was eavesdropping and gathering knights to make a show against the party. They purported to arrest them. It was an exciting exchange. Demaya tried to run off using her dexterity, lost all of her gear. Strongdawn, using his strength, barreled through the knights. Shadrock, in what he thought would be a show of strength and intimidation, transformed into a direwolf. And Fritzy being Fritzy, turned invisible and ran away. That's basically, we've all gotten away. But we know that Simon and the knights will be coming back with a larger force, and we now need to decide what to do.
And I want to give a quick shout out onto iTunes. There was somebody named Mindleech who gave us a great review, who especially likes how we have a female in the group. So, Mickie, you might have a stalker.
That's right.
All right.
I love my fans.
Thanks for the review. That's awesome.
I love to play with boys.
So we're going to get started here. We're going to get our group together in the Frazzled Mermaid, as Kurt mentioned. We've got the group, so between Fritzy, Shadrock, Strongdawn, and Demaya, you figure you've probably got about 10 minutes or so before Simon comes back with the larger arresting force to bring you into the jail. From there, take what you know and have a conversation.
All right.
Well, that
So-
escalated quickly.
Yeah. I think I would go up and grab the papers that I've hidden in my special room where I have the fourth board over is loose, so I have it underneath the floorboards to hide my important things in
It's
there.
a good thing there's shoddy craftsmen working this.
Well, it is a frazzled mermaid.
This is true.
Oh, that's just a feature.
The frazzled part?
Yes.
I'm still a dire wolf, so I'm just going to huff and puff and drool. I got one hold
All
left.
right.
I'm not going to serve your kind in here.
Nice.
No
Yeah,
bigots.
so we
But,
got the...
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd grab that, and if there's any extra stuff for Demaya, since she lost her stuff, we give her that.
So things like, as far as equipment you would have lost, Demaya, we would have lost your weapon
Yeah.
and poison. Those are probably the things that are most important to you, and possibly uses of adventuring gear. You can replace those for book value, if you will, if you just want to spend the money for now. And I can give you guys some numbers, but you would of course have to get out of the inn and go about shopping to do that.
It's the principle of the thing. She's really going to be most interested in getting back her weapon, or getting a weapon, a comparable weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't she have thief tools, like lock-picking stuff?
Actually, that would be gone too. What I'll say, just for ease of getting stuff back, if you guys do decide that you're going to go out into the town and get your stuff and maybe take half an hour getting to the right shops to pick things up, for 20 coins you can get yourself your thieves' tools, the poisons you were carrying replenished, and a weapon that you can use, a rapier or a dagger or something.
Can we send Shady John out for that so we can focus on
Yeah,
other things?
I mean, I would be afraid that we would be seen. I mean, maybe we could even send Demaya out, because Demaya moves like a ghost.
Yeah, she has.
So let me give you two options. Either Demaya gets out there as the thief and goes and finds her stuff, or Fritzy can convince one of his friends in the Frazzled Mermaid to go shopping for them.
I mean, we only have like 10 minutes here anyway, so I think we should get out of here and maybe go somewhere nearby and have her pick up her gear.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe she can even steal the gear if she really wants to. We have some money, so
Okay.
we'd have plenty for her to actually pay for it. I don't know if it's the principle
It's
of the
the
thing
principle
for
of the
her
thing.
to steal her own
Well, you can
gear.
steal your own stuff back, but you might want some gear to get in there to steal your own stuff back.
No, my point is,
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay for anything. She's
Okay.
going to pick a couple pockets
Okay.
and steal some stuff.
Okay.
She'll return it.
And pepper, too?
So let's take a few
Big
minutes
pepper?
and have a discussion in the Frazzled Mermaid about what your next steps are, presuming that part of that is getting out for you to get your stuff.
Yes.
All right. So
I think we also
aside
need to
from
go
that,
speak
what
to
else?
Belinda.
Yes.
And show her
I
the
definitely
papers.
think we need to talk to Belinda.
We definitely need to have some kind of contingency plan.
Yeah.
If things with Belinda don't go well.
And things with the king doesn't go well so well.
Oh, okay.
Well, I feel like Strongdawn is always my contingency plan.
It's crucial. Does he still have a bit of his aura in him?
Aura?
His aura.
Zara.
Yeah, his aura's still in me.
All right, I just want to make sure. Because that's a heck of a plan right there. Walking around demigod.
I mean, do you ever like sitting beside you having your discussion?
No,
with
yeah,
yourself?
he's definitely argues with himself vocally. Like, he has given more weight to his the inside voice,
I like it.
the one that you talk with sometimes.
Nice.
Well, I think that while we may be able to win the king back ultimately, the clear next step is to find Belinda and talk with her about what we know.
Agreed. Let's do this.
And leave that meeting with resolution about our act one way or
You
the other.
already have a contact with Onion Man. So with that, it's going to be easy to find Belinda. All right. So we're not going to have any difficulty in moving in that direction. We appear to have dropped a die on the floor, so we're doing a little search for that. So let me fill in the gap here. What we're going to do, Belinda is going to be able to meet up with you. Do you want to, Demaya, take that time before then to maybe go around the marketplace picking pockets and getting stuff.
Sure.
So let's use your starting move for the thief, the tricks of the trade, to pick some pockets.
I guess
Roll
we're at
plus
the marketplace.
dexterity.
The onion guy is there too.
Yeah,
10.
and that's what I'm saying. It'll be convenient.
10.
All right.
Job. Starting
So
off
we're
good
going to
again.
say as a 10, you get that. So you're going to be able to lift some coins from the right people and stop at the right places and pick up all the stuff you need to do the following. You will have a weapon that fits your mood, whether that be a dagger or rapier, you pick.
Oh, Sleepia.
Let's say 2 uses of your preferred poison
Golden root.
and thieves' tools as needed.
Fantastic.
And you will have done that, and people will be none the wiser until they go to buy curry, perhaps, and don't have the money in their pocket to afford it.
I'll make a note of...
Yeah.
no, I'm not. Never mind.
I'm going to make a note of not having made a note about anything.
Never mind.
All right, and Onion Man, I don't know where I put my notes out here, but he had a name. We're just going to continue to call him Onion Man. He
I wrote
does
it
get
down.
you in contact. Oh, yeah?
Robard.
Robard,
Robard.
that's right. So,
More fun to
Robard,
call him the Onion Man.
Robard Onion Man, that's his last name, Onion Man. It's all one word. And how is it spelled? UNYUNMANN. Onion Man. He says it will be a few minutes before word reaches her. After the commotion on the street, she went to council to make sure that she was not under any suspicion. However, we can have a meeting with her, and he gives you an address towards the south side of town, which is a place that, actually the place that Strongdawn and Demaya met Belinda. So it's the same address where you met her while they were in conference with the king. So he gives you that address, and he tells you, make sure you're there in about 20 minutes. And we'll just say, unless you guys are doing anything else, that time will pass. And you'll meet up with Belinda, and she will meet you there alone in the same small room at the back of the pastry shop that you met her earlier.
Ooh, I want another
May I
donut.
ask a Dungeon World
Another
question?
donut. You can.
On
Well,
par-
actually, roll. Let's see if you...
Roll to see if I can ask a question.
Go ahead.
For parlay, does it have to be actual leverage, or is it would the character think that it was leverage?
It is, you have something that the NPC wants. Now, it can be something as simple as, I have 10 coins and you want money, or I'm threatening you with your life. I hold your life in my hands and I'm bargaining with you. So you have something I want, I have something you want, and you make a bargain.
Okay.
So some form of leverage, but it doesn't have to be something like, I've got your sister buried underground, she has 1 hour of air. Right? You don't have to go that far.
Best character ever.
But any little bit of something you have that the other person wants, that's all it needs to start there. And then, based on what you see on that basic move of parlay, they will ask for certain things. Concrete evidence, or they kind of take your word for it. It depends on where you get on that roll, whether it be the 7
So I
to
don't
9
understand
or
the
10 plus.
success on a parlay. Like, is it just that I find, like, if I want someone to tell me the truth and I have leverage over him or her,
Yeah.
is a success on a parlay going to get me the truth?
Yes.
Yeah. So on a hit, meaning 10 plus, they ask you for something and do it if you make them a promise first. So essentially, it's kind of worded weird. The way I play it is. So that's it. So I've got your sister in a box, and you need to tell me the truth about when the bomb's going to go off. Right? And they say, and you get your 10 plus. And they're like, all right, if you promise to let my sister out, I'll tell you the bomb's going off and what wire to cut. Right?
Okay.
So that's that. And on the 7 to 9, that's the same. They need concrete assurance. So they need a picture. They need, the thing in the movies where you take a picture of her next to a newspaper to show it's today's date or something like that. Prove she's still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of concrete evidence that you really do have his sister in a box, and you're not just lying about it.
This is the
What if you don't have
the
that?
darkest example
It's
I've
a
ever
sister in a
heard.
box thing. You haven't done the sister in a box?
What's in the box?
That's
What's in the box?
I was waiting for someone to say
Is it
that.
possible that you don't have that? Or
Sister in a box?
the concrete evidence?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if they ask for the concrete evidence and you don't have it, then they're probably not going to do whatever it is you're trying to parlay
Okay.
for.
All right. I got it.
In
And then they
example,
punch you
in
in the
this
face.
game, we tried to
Sister in a
parlay at the Red Hand Hideout, where you wanted us to join up with them, and they wanted us to assure them that we wanted to join up with them, and we didn't give them that.
Right.
Instead, you beat them up.
Fireballing the shack.
Right.
So
I fireball the shack.
we sort of failed the parlay on that one.
Yeah, I imagine we're going to have a parlay with Belinda, which
Yeah.
is why I asked. So, okay,
Yeah.
I'm ready.
And now, just to take that one step further, say you're just going to flat out threaten somebody. That doesn't need to be a parlay.
Right.
It can just be a threat. It can be a show of strength. It can be a show of intelligence, what have you.
Right. So, can I metagame for a moment, or how should we
I
handle
thought we
that?
just did.
All right, I'm going to continue that. It seems
Go
to me
ahead.
that if in this meeting,
So you guys are.
so we're
you have walked in. Belinda is there, or do you want to say what you're saying before you walk?
I want
in?
to say before we walk in.
Okay.
So
before you walk into
wanna
the
say-
pastry shop.
I want to say, I'll try to do this without metagaming, but the idea
Maybe
here
this is while Strongdawn is eating the donut.
we need our
Smells good. I want some.
Nom nom.
we need our
Needs
our
incense.
most silver tongued member of our party to lead this conversation with Belinda. And while I love you all, I think that for now that may be Fritzy. And I'd like you to consider, Fritzy, the possibility that we know something incredibly valuable that might be of value to Counselor Belinda.
Yeah, yeah.
Chancellor.
I mean,
Chancellor.
normally I would say that Demaya would be good, but I think Demaya is a little bit compromised with the Belinda Vostra.
We're working it out.
Emotionally disturbed.
It seems to me that what we want from her more than anything is knowledge of her true intentions.
Sure.
And that would solve this whole problem. Is she legitimately looking out for the kingdom's best interests because she believes that the king is corrupt? And if we knew the answer to that, we would know how we need to act.
Right.
And it seems to me that we have something valuable to her, which is that we know that the king has ordered her assassination, and we know who the assassins are.
Yeah.
Yeah, you.
Well, that's exactly
Right,
right.
yeah.
But she doesn't have to know that. We can tell her
She doesn't
that
know
we know
we
that
know.
the king has ordered her assassination, and that we know who the assassins are.
Interesting idea.
And
How
that
do
if you
guys
and
wanna
I
handle
are on
it?
the same page, we can prove that because we can independently support that knowledge.
This was
Sure.
part of why I said you had a 20-minute wait. Let's give a chance to formulate your plan so this works.
So while I'm open
All
to
right.
other ideas, that would seem like a way to proceed.
For someone
Man, this
that
is
has a low intelligence on the sheet, that was a great plan, and I think we're gonna try that plan
like
as we
that.
come in the door here.
Yes, and since you don't have to roll on it,
low charisma, which is why you need to do it.
intelligence is irrelevant until you need to roll.
Yeah.
But I am wise.
There you
wise
go.
beyond my years.
Exactly.
right.
So what do you guys think of that? You got your plan ready to go in and talk to Belinda?
We have as good of a plan as I can do without rolling.
Well, I think we need to
Well,
know,
especially since you need to talk to her before I think I
Exactly.
make you roll.
given that we have 90 more seconds before we have to meet with her. Once we know her true intentions, what if she's lying? What if she is a power-hungry demon?
What if?
Well, we still are tasked to kill her by the king.
So you
So
got
are we-
you're covered.
Are
I
we
guess.
covered?
Are we ready to do that now?
I think we're ready for whatever comes. Maybe.
All right.
Well said. All right, so
I fondle my shillelagh on my back.
you finished the
You like
donut.
fun.
You're not the
Fondling your
wolf
pole.
now.
No, I'm even now.
Yeah, so Strong Dog finishes his donut, and anyone else who wanted a nice fine pastry.
Just so everyone knows, it was a Long John.
It was delicious.
Nice
I had no doubt.
bear claw.
Or a bear claw. It
That's
was
what
either
the
a
druid
Long
would
John
have.
or
Yeah.
a bear claw.
And actually, Fritzy would probably have a bow tie.
Maybe.
Yeah. So you go
with
into the back room,
sprinkles.
and Belinda is there. Chancellor Belinda is there, and she is sitting at the same table where you had your half-hour conversation with her earlier. And of course, she has met all of you, so she does know all of you. And you are invited, and she is apparently very rushed. The time is short. What is it you wish to speak to me about? Sit, but speak quickly.
Well, We have some knowledge for you, and we would like to be clued in on more of your plan, as we feel like we are being asked to be a big part of that plan, but we're sort of in the dark. But we have some knowledge, some evidence that you would find very useful. We've uncovered a plot against your life.
A plot against my life?
Yes, and we even know who is the hired assassins for you.
And hearing the word assassin, she turns to Demaya quickly. Do you know who it is?
Demaya takes some powder out of her pocket, powders her hand, and whaps her across the face. And then turns around.
Yep, they're working it out.
Seriously?
She's not speaking to her.
Okay. Well, with the
That's what she did in her head.
the reference to assassin is the circle that
Yeah.
you travel in, and she's wondering. She would definitely be offended, but understanding to that reaction, and
And which,
of course, she doesn't have a red mark on her face, just some powder.
she powdered her,
Yes.
her hand.
So seriously, Demaya, my dear, do you happen to know who it is? Is it someone I should be worried about?
Oh, I think you should be very worried.
Great. And you wanted to say something?
There's a Chancellor.
The Wolf Boy? You were Wolf Boy last time she saw you.
He's always Wolf Boy.
We know all the details of this plot, who, where, and when, and it is a serious and legitimate threat to you. And we're willing to share that information with you in exchange for concrete proof of your intentions and your plan with respect to the king's life and the fate of the kingdom.
Well, the king himself, as I explained to Demaya, Ow My Face, and Strongdawn earlier, we, as the band of the Red Hand, have been seeking evidence to have the king tried in the court of public opinion. And we are hoping, and the one reason that you were sent to follow him at the Masquerade Ball was hopefully to obtain some of that evidence. We do not have all of the evidence now. So we don't have anything concrete to bring him forward on. We believe, however, that the death of Phyllis Smith over the night last night has something to do with the king.
It did. We have the papers.
We're not certain it did.
If
So-
He says it did. You say you're not certain. Which is it?
I
We
mean,
are running short on time. I'm expected back in council in a few minutes.
We do have papers that link
Show me your papers. Sorry.
link the Phyllis Smith to being in arrears on her taxes. However, her death may be a coincidence on that it shows up on the papers as well.
Well, I don't know that her death is a coincidence. We are looking into this because we have an inside source in the Knights of Kingsbury who says that she was found strangled alone.
Who's your source?
Just one of the knights.
Does this knight have a name?
Of course he does. I could not out him for his own protection.
If the king were tried and found guilty in a public court, what would be...
Well, we just want his name plastered on the newspapers and posters of having done things wrong so people can revolt against him.
And after you execute your coup, then what happens?
Well, we would expect for somebody else to take over as king once he is dethroned.
Someone else?
Perhaps his nephew,
Someone
as
else?
we talked about earlier.
Not you?
Well, why are
No.
Why are you so
I am content to be part of the council, the Council of Peers, and I'm content to be the chancellor of that council.
Why are you so sure that his nephew will be any different? I mean, they are related.
His nephew is a good man.
That
He is
has no proof at all.
Any person who is not the king is a better man than the king.
Damn.
She is very, very opposing of the king, without a doubt, for years.
Has she
No question. She's very vitriolic.
has she shared what evidence the Red Hand has against the king?
Well, so far their only evidence is all circumstantial. They are looking for something that links him directly.
Are we going to show her the papers?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. We'll see her reaction, whether she thinks it's
Okay.
actually helpful or
Let's show her the papers.
show her the papers.
Okay, so we're going to play this as she doesn't quite understand the papers. I need somebody. What I'm looking for here is a role. Somebody's going to explain to her how this links the king to what happened.
I mean,
Just having her name amongst other people's names on papers doesn't mean a whole lot to her.
I mean, I guess since I explained this stuff before,
You explain it to me.
I
you
could
explain
explain it to her.
All right, and to me, that's going to sit under intelligence. It's in order to convince her, there's a danger of her not believing it, and you are going to intelligently try to
7,
convince her.
barely.
All right, so what her reaction then will be, I can kind of get this link you're talking about, but I would need other people to see these papers in order to confirm this. I am not an accountant. I'm not an accountant by any stretch. But I have people in my organization who could verify this information if you will leave the papers with me.
It's funny to me, that image of a red hand accountant. But
Everything's in the red. Go figure.
We got a great union.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you guys think? Should we leave it? It seems like our only leverage over the red hands is this evidence that they are requesting.
Well,
And that we know who's going to kill their leader.
Yeah, I mean, she had to have expected that someone wants to kill her. It is like Adventureland.
it is Adventureland.
Um,
So what do you want to do?
What do you think, Demaya?
No, she's over it.
Probably felt good, didn't it?
It did feel good. We've laid it to rest. She's gonna look at her and. Can I apply my golden root? No, she's already a friend.
Yeah, she is your friend, without a doubt.
Do we have anything that?
Without a doubt in your mind, at least. So what is your intent?
I want to figure out if I can trust her. Trust what she's saying.
Give
Just
me
that she's-
a defy danger with wisdom that is intuiting her actions towards you. Let's see how that works out.
Damn.
That's
So
a good ooh.
You rolled 2
12 on the
sixes.
dice.
Right, so you rolled a crit, so to speak, and you are as sure as you have ever been with this person that you know as both Lady Vostra and Chancellor Belinda now. There is no way. None of her tells that have ever made you think, that thing of where she was hiding something and she joked about where it was and you knew she was lying. There's nothing there now. It is complete and total honesty.
Okay, so she's gonna look at her like long and hard, and then she's gonna walked into that one.
Go on.
Did she lube it first? Anyway.
So yes, she looks at her.
She looks at her, and then she turns to the group and says, "Give her the papers."
All right, I'll hand them over.
Okay. And she will quickly put the papers together, tuck them in some, spot on her clothing that she's wearing, and say, "Well, you'll excuse me, of course. I need to get back to council, but perhaps we can have a meeting again later this evening." And Robard Onion Man can instruct you further if you approach him after dinner.
Okay.
Do you have anywhere that we could lay low for a while? Our normal hangout is under
You could
surveillance.
stay here. Just let Melanie out front know. And,
The receptionist.
Yeah, the baker, one of the bakers, the donut baker, pastry baker. Melanie will just let her know that you need the room for a longer period of time, and you can hang low here.
Okay.
And with that, she excuses herself, and out she goes through that door on the side, and off into the street. What is your next step?
Well, on top of just hiding out, I want to go ask if I could like help Melanie.
You gonna bake?
I'll bake with Melanie, and I can maybe like use my magic to enhance her baked goods for the day.
Oh, a magic missile donut would be awesome.
Give new meaning to donut holes.
You want to enhance Melanie's donut holes?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
That is cool right there.
I'll just be charming and baking.
You know, a donut with a charm person spell in it would be pretty damn awesome too.
Except I think I would have to bake my hand inside
That's like
the donut.
that's like every jelly donut ever is a charm person donut.
So if I understood the last exchange correctly, we are fully confident that Belinda is telling us the truth.
Demaya is
I
fully
am fully
confident
confident.
that Belinda has no trace of dishonesty in her desire to have the papers to be studied. Because that was what she was seeking, to make sure Belinda was not lying about needing the papers to check out the evidence, so to speak. And that's why Demaya told Fritzy, go ahead and hand over the papers. She's not lying. She does really need them.
Okay. It wasn't broader that she was telling the truth about everything. It was just that.
I mean, there's no reason to think she was lying about anything specific.
Right.
But in that case, she definitely needed. She did not understand the papers. She wasn't taking them for any nefarious purpose. It was all for reals.
It's for realsies.
I mean, I guess I would say to my colleagues that I'm not a very smart man, Janae, but
I'm not a smart man.
He always starts
I
the
know-
best plans with, I ain't very smart.
I'm not a very smart man, Janae, but I know what love is. And I know that Belinda's telling the truth. She's not asking to have the king killed. She's simply asking for him to be tried.
Yep.
The king has, while we were inclined to him, ordered us to assassinate one of his loyal subjects without
although-
hesitation.
Loyal.
Yeah,
with
we
bunny
sort of
ears.
told him that she wasn't a loyal
Yeah.
subject.
He didn't ask for her to be tried. He didn't ask for her to be arrested. He
No.
asked for her to be assassinated.
exactly.
Kill her. Kill her now.
And my inclination would be that we need to capture the king.
Capture.
Capture. Wow, that escalated quickly.
I like that. And like put the king's sister in a box.
We don't need his sister. We just need his prized pet.
He didn't have a sister.
Yeah. I mean, I think you were making a good point up until the very end where you sort of
was doing-
escalated that.
He was doing good till he got to the point where he wasn't very
Well,
smart.
what can we do short of that? The knights aren't going to let us come and just parlay with him.
I mean, it sounds like we have a whole thing with evidence now that maybe we can try him as just a person, and we don't have to go grab him in front of like all his knights.
That would be
But
awesome.
who? I guess
He
we mean the
could
same
swoop
thing.
in as an eagle
When I
and
say
try and
capture,
lift
I'm
him.
assuming that there's no one who's going to arrest the king, unless perhaps we have to convince Simon.
Simon's in his pocket.
I should have thought other knights would be like Alvin and Theodore. Yeah. Think about it.
I mean, my point is that with evidence, we need to do whatever we need to do to bring the king to trial.
And remember, though, Belinda,
Or at least
Chancellor Belinda wants him tried in the court of public opinion, not in a real trial.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the king will get a slap on the wrist and go back to the throne.
Right.
She doesn't want that.
She wants to oust him in front of everyone in town. So we need solid evidence that we can present to the masses.
She wants to put out the propaganda posters of the king strangling Phyllis Smith, right? Somebody's going to paint that picture and then put it on posters all over
she's
the
not
town.
looking for an actual public trial. She's just looking to disseminate information.
Yeah, all opinion. She wants the public to revolt against the king.
I got you. Okay, well,
But she's
forget about
not
the whole
willing to
capturing the
move
king.
forward until she knows beyond a shadow
and she's
of a
not
doubt.
even going to be the face of the movement.
Right, I understand.
Why don't we set a trap for him? So that the king is caught red-handed.
Bingo!
I mean,
Why don't you show your arrears to the king and see if he tries to kill you?
and Joe
He's going to be caught in arrears. Oh, Lord. That was
Why
awesome.
don't you show him your arrears?
Yeah, like I like where this is going. Like, let's.
I'm going to look at the king long and hard.
It's a full moon tonight.
Nice.
Oh, baby, I like where this is going.
We're gonna need someone that's not us, though,
Yeah.
because
Onion
us,
Man.
he could just say,
Onion
"Oh,
Y'all keep going.
they're just criminals that he's executing, criminals against the king." But if we got someone that was like truly innocent, and we got the king to come down on that person, then we would have something on the king.
I know someone.
Who do you know?
Lady Felicity Georgette.
Lady Felicity Georgette.
She's part of the higher class group here of Kingsbury. She's well known, well respected, and everyone, like, it would be really weird if the king went after her.
How do we get him to go after her?
Well, we could leak to the people, or leak to the guard, or somehow that she's big with the red hands,
There we
She's
go.
fine.
and then
She's financing the Red Hand.
yeah, that sounds good.
Is she someone we've met before, or is she a new?
I met her.
at her pedicure.
She's yes. I recall.
I know someone. Yeah, there we go. I could convince her to go along with this. We could leak to someone on the king's accounting board that she's been financing the Red Hand.
And because she is so rich, she's probably been on the king's side, so the king might be a little bit enraged by the fact that one of his loyal has been working against him the entire time.
There we go.
I think it would be better, though, to not tell her, because then when she gets pressured, she won't spill the beans that it's like a trap. It'll just be genuine.
She'll be genuinely
Like
distressed.
surprised.
I mean,
Yeah.
we can swoop in and
You just
save
have to
her.
stay close and save her, yeah.
But I think we should leak it to someone and try to see if they take the bait.
So I stepped out for a moment. It sounds like you're setting up Belinda.
We're setting up the king.
Yeah, but I mean setting up.
To go after Lady Felicity
Georgette.
who
Oh.
was met at the rich lady that Demaya met while getting her pedicure and spa treatment.
Okay, so you guys have, I'd say, 6 hours before the time that the Chancellor would come back to talk to you. Are you hatching a plan in that time?
We're
Yeah.
not going to tell Lady Felicity.
Or Belinda?
No,
Or
Felicity.
Or Felicity.
Okay, see, that's what I missed part of. I stepped out for anyone
So that
who's
she will be
listening.
surprised
So,
when...
quick rehash then for Joe.
Go for it.
We want to set up Felicity to basically bait the king. We're going to leak information that she's been funding the Red Hand this entire time, even though she, as a wealthy person in the city, would have been fairly loyal to the king.
Yep.
So having this information come to light might possibly enrage the king enough for him to actually want to do this himself. Having this, supposedly loyal subject, be a Red Hand member or Red Hand financier.
So, let me give you a little bit of background on that. Lady Felicity was widowed several years ago. Her husband left her a lot of land on the west side of town, and she has essentially become a slumlord. Okay, so all of her money comes from what were her husband's holdings of housing on the west side of town, and she is benefiting from the king. And Demaya would have learned some of this in her conversation with her at the spa. And, a lot of it would have been the look down her nose at the people of, yes, my husband's holdings have generated much wealth for me, and the king raising the taxes just increases my coffers even more. Look at this extra great emerald that I got just last week with the increased holding, the increased income that the king has netted me. So that's the person you're setting up.
Yes.
Yeah, do it.
But the icing on the cake involves our thief, because you have to break in to wherever her office is with the slumlord thing, whether it be at her home or somewhere else.
She has a realty front. She has a real estate agent, a broker office, if you will,
and get her books that will show that she is not financing the Red Hand in the slightest. So when they come to get her, and they have these claims that she is a Red Hand financer, you can show them the books and be like, nuh-uh, she is not. And then the king will look real bad. And that's the whole plan.
Interesting. Okay. All right, so then let's take that as you guys hatched this plan over a couple of hours or so. So this will be before Chancellor Belinda returns to the pastry shop. In the meantime, of course, Fritzy has had some time to work with Melanie, who has great hands, by the way, as the pastry chef. She's able to tie all those tiny little knots in the breads and stuff that look so fancy, and she makes the perfect decorations on the top of the muffins.
Melanie doesn't like me because all I eat is the top of the muffins.
Exactly. He's a muffin top eater. I can't eat the other stuff.
It's where the flavor explosion happens.
So you spend some time with her. You've made a new friend in Kingsbury.
Go figure. She's a chick.
Yeah.
It's all my friends.
So you've got your plan set now. The Lady Felicity Georgette. There's Georgette's Realty office, not too far from the marketplace, so you're not that far from it. Let's put your plan into action.
Okay, so now I need to break in and get her books.
And that again, as the thief, to me, you are.
Can I assist?
Well, tell me how you would aid her, and then we'll go as an aid.
As this is during the day,
Yep.
I would walk in the front door and be my usual distracting self, where I'd be loud and talking about stuff, just random stuff.
Okay.
And so they would be focused on me up front while she sneaks in the back and steals
we're going
stuff.
to use this as an aid move, and that's from the basic sheet, aid or interfere. We haven't really done much with bonds, but we're going to pretend, just for the sake of this, that you have a bond.
I do have a bond with
Outstanding. Then add a +1 to your roll.
All
so
right.
go ahead and roll your aid. Now,
What's your
what this
bond?
means is, depending on what you roll,
My
she'll
bond
get a
with
bonus to
Demaya
her roll.
Demaya is keeping an important secret from me, which
For
seems-
you or from you?
from me, which seems likely because she is a thief. But
I know of 2, so that's pretty cool. I don't know how many she has. I know of a couple.
all right, so +1 is 7, so it's
Okay.
a little bit of an
So,
assist.
do you have the basic move sheet there? Go ahead and read aid or interfere with a 7 to 9, or read the whole move because it's not a long one.
When you help or hinder someone, you have a bond with roll plus bond with them. On a 10 plus, they take a +1 or -2, your choice. On a 7 to 9, you also expose yourself to danger, retribution, or cost.
Okay.
Wow.
I shouldn't have asked you to
Reading
read.
is bad. Next
So what that
time, Kurt
means
is going to
is-
read for me.
Demaya will get a +1 to her roll to be all sneaky and stuff. But it also means that if anything bad happens, Fritzy is also exposed to that badness now.
Yep.
Instead of just being a distraction, he also exposes himself to the danger that any danger that Demaya may incur.
I'm up front. I'm the distraction.
What does roll
No
plus
danger is
bond
incurred, as Mickie has a 10 on the dice.
+2.
And we are going to do this, to me, although it doesn't fit exactly, we're going to use it as a tricks of the trade. And with the your
Plus
+2
3.
plus the +1 of Fritzy, Fritzy provides a distraction for you to go in and do exactly what you guys said. You will go in and take the books.
Perfect.
So any piece of written material that shows that she is getting money from somewhere and the money goes somewhere else, you guys have picked that stuff up. What? JJ's got a cool hat on, and by hat I mean he put the headphones on top of his head instead of on the sides.
Well, great. The plan went exactly to the plan.
So far,
I love
your
it when a plan comes together.
Your
Yes.
plan is working. You provided the distraction, and because you
Who
provided
was the guy on the
distraction,
Murdoch,
no, that was
Hannibal.
the crazy one.
Murdoch, Hannibal was the leader.
the plan guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it when a plan
yeah,
comes together.
Gil Gerard, I think, was his name, or Papard,
Or Liam
something
Neeson in the
Papard.
movie.
Yeah. Oh, was there a movie?
Oh, let's
There was
not-
a good movie couple.
Yeah.
Well, good
Damn it.
in that it was,
was the
exactly
18?
what you expected at the 18.
Okay. So that's the beginning of your plan. Between Fritzy and Demaya, they have successfully retrieved any ledger information that shows that the Georgette Realty Company is innocent
And for those
of
you
what
at
you were
home
about to imply they do.
wondering what Strongdawn and Shadrock are doing, we're eating donuts.
They're probably holding hands, singing Kumbaya, and eating
I was
jelly
hoping that
donuts.
you guys would be out spreading the bad word on Felicity, but you obviously are just at the shop eating donuts.
Donuts are so good.
Melanie makes a good charm donut now. So you really, really like Melanie. She's your best friend.
It was George Papard.
George Papard.
And he's
I knew I had
passed.
Papard.
May he
I
rest in
said it
peace.
wrong. Now, the
All
other
right,
guy
so-
I said, I can't remember. Anyway, go on.
So we know that she is in the clear.
So now we just have to sully her name with the king so he actually takes the bait.
Tell me how you guys are going to do that. Because right now you're all wanted
You won't
by the
talk
king.
to us.
You can use your contacts at the Frazzled Mermaid.
Yeah, I could. Although the knights are probably staking that place out.
We could use Melody.
Send some donuts to the king with a note.
All right, so let's think this through.
Yeah,
we,
what's
we
your next
need
step?
someone who is close to the king to say, Lady Felicity is ratting you out. Right?
I think
Right.
that's your plan. So, yeah.
Yes.
So we need to somehow get word to.
I would imagine that our thief could disguise herself well enough to look like someone else.
That's where I'm going. Like I need to sneak in to the castle. You know what?
I'm
I'm
wondering
gonna do it.
if she can do all the roles of Ocean's 11 in this episode.
Why not?
I'll be the grease man.
Yeah.
I'll be the face man.
You don't
okay.
understand. You really don't. This woman in Ocean's 11,
I love that movie.
she watches it like every other
I
day.
love
Nice.
that movie. All right, so here's the plan.
So now you know your plan. How are you going to carry it out?
So I need to break in to the castle. Well, not break in. I need to slide into the castle and talk to Jean. Jean would believe me.
Okay.
And share that
Have you kept in contact with Jean?
off and on,
Off
here or
and
there.
All right.
How? When was there a Gene relationship?
hold, please. Now, there's one secret that has been kept from you. How's that?
Dang, man.
Jean and I.
Dude, are you sleeping with Jean?
No, I tried. It didn't work. Jean sees me as his bratty younger sister. Okay, so I need to get word to. It's interesting. We need to get word to Jean.
Okay.
Jean will talk to
Because
his
you've
counsel.
kept up with him off and on, that's easy enough. Whatever channels you've used before, you can get a quick 10-minute meeting with Jean wherever you want.
Okay.
So we'll say that happens. What do
In
you
her
wanna-
pants.
What's now that
a
it would be in
pants
his
party?
pants, I think. How do you want that conversation to go? What do you want to tell him?
I want
Jean's
to
there.
tell Jean, look, we understand there's this band in town called the Red Hand who has evidence against the king. We need for you to tell his advisors that Lady Felicity Georgette has been funding the Red Hand.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie to him. I've always been upfront with him. He's going to want nothing to do with it because that's Jean. He's a goody two-shoes. And I say, look, it's for the good of the kingdom. It's the good of the realm. If we're wrong, no harm, no foul. Felicity's a slumlord. If we're right and the king goes after her and tries to murder her, then you know you've been serving an evil king.
Do something for me here, if you would. Roll a Defy Danger with Wisdom, please.
Oh, of course you pick wisdom.
She got so much wisdom.
It's another one of those you're intuiting something from somebody's personality.
Oh.
All right, so that's a failure. Go ahead and mark it experience.
My first failure of the night.
Dang it, Gene.
And he tells you, yes, I can get this information to the king, and I can get it through channels where he will not know it came from me.
Okay, so how
Sounds
is
like
that
a
a failure?
success to me.
It will take maybe a day.
Okay,
It will not be quick.
it will not be quick.
It cannot.
All right,
That's okay. Good job. High five.
high five.
See, now your failure isn't what you were trying to do. Your failure is in what I was going to tell you. That's a big difference. So now that plan is in motion. However, that's going to be tomorrow. Belinda comes back to the pastry shop a couple hours later. Are you all there?
Yes.
Yes. Hopefully we've timed it in a way that even
Yeah.
she got back.
And that's why I'm saying it. It'll be at the time, as long as you all want to be there, you're all there. Belinda comes in, and she says, yes, we have studied the papers, and we are in agreement, myself and my comrades are in agreement, that this is evidence enough to implicate the king. We will start our campaign, but we could still use your help. Anything that we could get where we can catch the king in motion. So you guys saw him, but you said he was disguised as he was at the masquerade ball, and there were others like him looking the same. So that story doesn't sound as good as we just found the papers. Can we find him? Can we catch him doing something else?
Boy, can we. We are working on this great plan.
It's a wonderful
plan.
plan.
Yes, it is a wonderful plan. That we have made it so that he has a target that is so
Juicy.
juicy for him that he can't help but move in on it. And then we also have proof that this person is completely innocent.
So are you telling me you have convinced the king to go after an innocent person?
Yes.
How did you manage this?
We indirectly put it in his ear using
Stuff.
an intermediary.
An intermediary.
How?
I need to know who that is,
Why?
because not everyone is trustworthy.
Trustworthy. I wish
Our intermediary is trustworthy.
very trustworthy. And you're hearing it from her, someone that you trust.
Well, all right. Tit for tat. Tell us who you were using.
I have a
and-
tat. I have a tat.
Tat.
The king thinks that the person he's going after is guilty of funding revolution, right?
Correct.
Demaya,
So
defy
why is that
danger with
evidence?
charisma. Let's see if you or Lady
Evidence
Lady
that
Vostra,
she's a,
Chancellor Belinda, is more convincing at this
That
point.
she's
We're going to go
with
with
the red
charisma.
so if he goes,
Bam.
Of course, now
Okay.
I roll wonderfully.
because
So
he thinks she's a red hand.
that look in your eye lets her know
We find
that you
that she
will
is not.
answer her if she answers you
Or we show that she's not, then he's going after people just for the hell of it.
for the hell of it. Put your mic closer.
So we're just
Just
we're
talking to him.
Mic your mic.
we're setting him up.
Yes.
Like, even though this particular act is not wrong. Just to be clear.
I mean, if he tries to kill her
Well,
just because she's a red hand person,
okay.
then yes.
So Chancellor Belinda and Demaya are exchanging a long, hard look.
Ooh, it's getting steamy
Yes, and she says to you, very clearly, but almost in a whisper, "It is Sir Jean who is my contact within the Knights,
here. Oh, shit.
and who is yours?"
Damn it, Jim.
Could anyone at home hear that whisper?
Sir Jean Roddenberry.
Damn it, Jim. I'm a doctor, not a psychiatrist. Isn't a psychiatrist a doctor? Anyway.
Hey, close enough.
I would have to tell her
Okay.
that I use Jean as well.
She's stunned, frankly. So maybe out of all of the things she knew or thought she knew about you, she had no idea that you knew the same person that she knew. Jean has been our only good person within the knights. All of the other knights have been corrupted by the greed of the king. And he is the king's nephew. Wow.
Yeah. How about them apples?
Bitch.
There you go.
So
How about them apples?
Yeah. So Chancellor Belinda powders up her hand. So how can I help your plan to catch the king?
We need to make the king absolutely certain that Felicity is in fact funding the Red Hand. So anything that you have in your power to further that, we need the king to go after Felicity so that the town people see him going after someone who's innocent.
Okay.
And then you have to get whoever you need to get in that area to see that evidence that you need. So we don't want to waste this because we don't have the right people in place.
We've got one shot at this.
Okay. So perhaps we get the local guards instead of the knights to be there when this happens.
Sounds
Just the regular cops instead of the king's knights.
Maybe a priest
And a priest.
And
or
the
a cleric
priests.
or someone who would be
someone who's impeccable of reputation.
of high moral character.
Well,
So,
okay.
Martin Luther King of Kingsbury.
Martin Luther Kingsbury. That's his name.
Martin Luther Kingsbury.
Okay, so she said she'll
This
tell you.
episode is full of things that we can name.
Yes. That she will. All right, so she'll tell you. I will find Gene, and I will work with him and others that we have inside of the organization. However, it will probably be a couple of days to set something like this up. Here is a new address, and she quickly scribes down a new place for you to go stay undercover for the next 2 days, and that I will send word to you soon, within a day, to let you know how it's progressing. Are we agreed?
We have a belief that the king is going to find out about this in like a day. So,
Well, if Gene is your contact, I will speak to him before then, and we will make sure it is arranged appropriately.
Do you think there's a possibility I could get a knight's sword?
A muffin top?
A knight's sword?
A knight's sword? Definitely, yes.
Okay.
Do you think that you could possibly send Melanie with some donuts to the new hideout?
Definitely. Yeah.
steakouts are better with donuts.
Steakouts are much better.
Shadrock, who was a ripped, chiseled man beast when he came to Kingsbury, has gained 8 or 10 pounds worth of donuts and is looking a little doughy
Yeah.
around the middle.
In the last 10 hours, he has donated himself into pudginess. So she'll give you that new address to go as another hideout, and she'll leave you again to go about the business of setting up both the stakeout for you guys as well as the trap that you are laying for King Glorin in implicating Lady Felicity Georgette.
Cool.
All right.
That actually sounds like it's working out.
It does, doesn't it? It's weird.
Yeah.
Let's wait for it to all go
This
to
is about the time where it all goes to shit.
So the next day, Chancellor Belinda will find you at the new safe house, and she'll come to you in the morning early when you're waking, and of course you're waking up, and there's the ravaged boxes of pastries laying about the safe house that you are in,
And Shady just laying right in the middle
Yes.
of those boxes.
Shadrock laying there with jelly dribbling from the corner of his mouth, perhaps, and a cruller stuck to his forehead.
Charm donuts.
She'll arrive while you're waking, and she lets you know that it is indeed set up. So tomorrow at 10 a.m., the king will arrive with Simon and his most trusted knights to put an end to Lady Felicity's quote-unquote wrongdoing. So it is now set. The plan is in motion, and it will be at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Done.
All right. Got to get our people in the place.
All right, and that's where we're going to
time.
stop this episode for this edition of our Perils of Parentesi campaign. Everybody want to say
Goodbye,
Jelly
guys.
donuts.
Later,
Thanks for
players.
listening.
And a penis.
Talk to you soon.
After some deliberation, a scheme is hatched to trap the king. Using the evidence gathered, the party convinces Chancellor Belinda to help arrange the sting operation. Tune in for the next episode to hear how it turns out. Thanks for joining us. The preceding podcast was brought to you by Shedcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com.